Welcome to Family Basics 101. I'm Dr. Bruce McClure, and as we continue our 5-part series entitled Self-Esteem, today we will discuss why self-esteem is essential. Self-esteem is the manifestation of love, worth, value, emotional embracing one accepts regarding themselves. Self-esteem begins its development prenatal, and it continues throughout the lifespan of the individual. The feelings of love, the feelings of importance, the feelings of acceptance, warmth, being needed are all foundational prerequisites for wholesome growth of self-esteem. Now, in the state of California, according to Rod May, in a document written in 1985, serious consideration was given to setting up a study on self-esteem that at that time would have cost $750,000. But the study was really proposed in order to see if crime might be reduced if they could raise the self-image or the self-esteem of that residential area of California that was considered at risk for criminal behaviors. So what they wanted to do, we don't know if the study really took place, was to say if we could raise the self-esteem within an individual or within a group of individuals, would that lower the risk of crime taking place at the hands of that same general population? According to one noted religious writer, the unfulfilled self-worth of an individual lies at the root of most problems created in life. In the book Self-Esteem, The New Reformation, which was written years ago by Robert Schuller, self-esteem is the single greatest need facing the entire human race. Quite interestingly, when we discuss why self-esteem is essential, the reasons are no different today than they were 2,000-3,000 years ago. In an issue of Ladies' Home Journal many years ago, the following statement was made, and it is still true today. The nutritional health of a mother is paramount in carrying an infant through pregnancy, and second to providing the nutritional care is a mother's responsibility to provide psychological prenatal care as well. The emotional climate in pregnancy is determined by the mother's internal view of herself and her level of how positive a self-concept or self-image she has throughout even the pregnancy process. So not only does it become necessary to take care of oneself physically, getting the proper prenatal care, getting the proper food, making sure that the baby is well cared for, but also psychologically, because that's going to lend itself prenatally to the self-esteem and the value development in the child once he or she is born. Why is self-esteem so essential? The absence of self-esteem leads a person into a despair of life itself. And many times it is attributable to why people even commit suicide. Low self-esteem leads to domestic violence. Low self-esteem leads to bullying. Low self-esteem leads to promiscuity and sexual abuse. Low self-esteem leads to academic underachievement. Low self-esteem leads to envy and covetousness attitudes. And on the flip side of that, high self-esteem, where a person is comfortable and that person understands in a balanced way who they are and how important they are, domestic violence is ceasing. When an individual understands that they are at peace inside themselves, bullying ceases. When an individual understands that he or she is valued and their body is precious and is not to be manipulated or abused, then promiscuity and sexual abuse is stopped. When an individual feels good about who they are and the accomplishments that are possible through them, then they go to school and they move through the academic environment expecting and anticipating doing their best. Their academic achievement level is much higher. And when high self-esteem is in place, it moves a person from being an envious and a covetous person toward others. They can celebrate the accomplishments of other people, and they can make do with what they have without feeling like they're at the bottom of the socioeconomic or the political or the religious totem pole. In the book of Nehemiah, chapter 4, verses 1 through 4, there's a story about two groups of individuals. One group really has low self-esteem, and you'll see some of the negative attributes coming out in them. And then there's another group, Nehemiah, that has positive self-esteem, and you'll see how they handle the negative group. But it came to pass that when Sanballat heard that we build the wall, he was angry, and he took great indignation, and he mocked the Jews. And he spake before his brethren and the army of Samaria, and he said, What do these feeble Jews? Will they fortify themselves? Will they sacrifice? Will they make an end in a day? Will they revive the stones out of the heaps of the rubbish which are burned? Now Tobiah the Ammonite was by him, and he said, Even that which they build, if a fox go up, he shall even break down their stone wall. Hear, O our God, for we are despised. Now this is Nehemiah's response to all of the sarcasm and all of the put down that is being waged at them by the individuals who really have low self-esteem. Nehemiah's response, because Nehemiah is assured of who he is, he's assured of his task, he's comfortable, he's not covetous, he's not an envious person. So Nehemiah turns his heart toward God. We are despised, and turn their reproach upon their own heads, and give them for a prey in the land of the captivity. You know what Nehemiah keeps doing? He keeps rebuilding the wall. When a person has positive self-esteem, they are able to remain focused on what's important. And when individuals have low self-esteem, you'll see them doing a lot of put down, a lot of degrading talk, a lot of demeaning of others, because inside of self, there is the uncertainty. Inside themselves, there's the unrest. Inside themselves, someone has failed to build up in love. Someone has failed to build up in importance. Someone has failed to build up an assurance that you are an all right person as you are. You are a person of value as you are. And they'll set out to destroy others. I'll see you back in class again next time. Don't be late, and don't skip class.